restrictive easement to cross back and forth across that property, but realistically, that would have, in time, energy, and then ultimately cost to the county, that would have cost you more than the $7,000, I think it was, we gave him for that little parcel. Figure it would have cost us 3 times that much. Okay, and now with the purchase of that one parcel, there are no more questions. That little triangle's there. Hey, keep your triangle, have fun with it. We're just gonna go around it.
Good deal.
But yeah, I think 8, maybe 9 hours I spent yesterday smacking my head against the wall on that one.
Really?
You know, it's amazing. I find myself spending time on something. It's like, Jesus, how could I possibly? But I wasn't twiddling my thumbs and doing nothing.
No.
It's like, how could I possibly have spent a whole day on this? You know?
Well, and you know, going through all those deeds, I can understand why real estate attorneys charge a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't really any fun.
Well, I think all of that is why this has been such a hang-up.
Mm-hmm.
And but hopefully now, so none of this means crap if we don't turn it fish, wild, and game loose. I mean, you know.
Right. Well, and so I want to turn it loose to them as fast as I can, especially while they've got their legislature going right now,
You bet.
and the state has a bumper crop of money from taxes from the last tax year, and they're trying to figure out what to do with it. Fish, Wildlife, and Parks can step in there and say, hey, we just like just this one little piece. We got this project, we got great access, you know, would you mind giving us some money? And oh gosh, everybody loves campgrounds and fishing access sites and public access sites. They get to look good, we get to look good, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks gets to look good. You know, everybody gets to kind of have a smile with on it. When they dedicate the thing, I would like to be down there and part of pictures though.
That's good. Hopefully it'll help the habitat of the smelt fish.
Well, I plan on going down there and doing some catfish fishing. So.
Rumor has it there's some catfish down there.
Yeah, invested right, invested interest.
I do. You can always get me excited about roads and things that lead to places I want to go fishing or hunting. I mean,
Yeah.
it becomes a priority.
Well, you're getting the most out of the Montana life,
You know
the
what?
outdoors.
My thought was if I went back to the Midwest, I could probably make 3 times what I'm making here. And I think that at least twice what I'm making here. And I think that's a pretty conservative estimate. Then I'd be saving up all my money to be able to come up here and go on vacation.
Exactly.
Or I could live here and make less money and go on vacation every night and every weekend.
Yeah.
There's another feature that's
Trade-off.
also there, living here, and that is the people are better. And
You know
have
what,
the presence
there's-
of us 3 commissioners, and you are so blessed.
Well, you know, y'all are awful fun to work with. And, and after our discussion, I did order that desk and the accompanying cabinet. And I think that's gonna come in around $1,800. And that's gonna be here in 10 to 12 weeks.
Okay, that's a while. That'll give you something to look forward to.
It will, yeah.
And knowing that it's prison labor.
You know, yeah, the irony there is that the guy that's building it for me is probably somebody I sent there. I have to send him a thank you note.
Better hope they don't find out.
But I've
It's gonna have a
also,
weird odor to it. It's gonna, this thing really smells.
I also reorganized my office down there completely, so if you fellas wanna stick your head down and say hi sometime
Oh,
and
yeah.
see what she looks like, by all means, come down and check it out.
You betcha.
Never did get around to painting, who knows if I'll do that or not.
So now we can really pressure the guys to put up the screen or whatnot.
Absolutely, well, that TV's just sitting out in the hallway, waiting for a good home.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, I've got things cooking right along downstairs. I'm pretty happy with it. Boy, have I got 2 great ladies to work with.
yeah.
They keep reminding me, Ben, we'll take care of this for you, we'll take care of that. I'm not used to having somebody who does that.
And they're experienced, they know what they're doing.
Oh, I know,
You know?
yeah. But I mean, I'm not used to having somebody who does that. And they were being kind of shy about saying, you know, Ben, we'd rather do it because
You-
it's
Yeah.
part of our process and you're getting in our way.
Yeah,
And so during our staff meeting this week, I'm like, guys, look, don't be shy about stepping up and saying, Ben, stop it. I'll take care of it. You're getting in my way. I said, you know, I'm the
Good
team
deal.
captain down here. I'm not the emperor.
well, you know, that was a big problem I had for years, is I wouldn't let go. I wouldn't delegate, and I never really thought about it, but it gives somebody else a chance, you know, and then it makes your life so much easier,
Doesn't it though?
because then I found out 9 times out of 10 they did a better job than I would, you know. But I thought I was the only one that could do it right.
So the other funny thing about that, and I mean, these are just little tricks of management that I've learned, is delegate and then back up your folks no matter what call they make, even if it's a bad call. If it's a bad call, pull them off to the side on their own, be like, I didn't really
Well,
work.
that's a good point.
You know, otherwise they're afraid to make any call. And so praise publicly when someone makes a really good call. They, you know, make a really big deal of it. Man, they did a really, if they make a bad call, and talk to them on their own so that everyone's willing to kind of take that step forward and try and do something new. And as a result, you wind up getting a lot better, faster work product. 'Cause
Everybody
people aren't
works
afraid to make
better
decisions.
when they're working in an environment that they're happy to come to work in.
And we're having fun down there right now.
Well, and I found too that most people, you know, I was in an oversight role for the government, overseeing a big defense contractor. And most people on the job are competent, good people trying to do a good job.
Yeah,
They have no nefarious angle.
right.
They're not, you know, they just want to do a good job. That's why not throwing them under the bus is really important, because then you threaten their livelihood, you know?
Well, and then nobody likes to feel like they made a mistake or something like that, and so I don't know.
No.
I used that theory in Anaconda and it worked really extremely well, because I guess that was, I mean, I was a manager of the public defender's office, but I didn't do very much other than train the new guy. But in Anaconda, I was in charge of stuff with more work than I could possibly do, and so I had to come up with a way to keep everyone motivated. No, I only ever had to step in on one case that one of my attorneys was saying, look, I can't prove this case, it's got all these problems. And I said, I'm not letting you dismiss it. She goes, well, I can't do it. And I said, fine, I'll do it. And so even though I was doing primarily felonies, I stepped in on this misdemeanor case with 2 weeks to go before trial, prepped the thing for trial, went in, beat the onions out of the fence, convicted the guy, walked back downstairs and said, see, told you, conviction on this one was easy. Now the guy's got another DUI, so convict him on that one. And there were like, that kind of ended the questions of whether or not I knew what I was talking about.
Well, you know, one way to get credibility is not be afraid to roll up your sleeves.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, absolutely, I've never been afraid to do that.
But there's certain jobs that are beneath me.
Supposed to,
I won't mess with them.
No, in all fairness, like the civil stuff I've been working on for you guys now, like this Riverside Park,
yeah.
and then the questions with Teresa, that wasn't really my favorite stuff to do.
Okay.
And so usually when that stuff would roll in, I'd be like, okay, and this is getting assigned to you, deputy. And they kind of go, huh. You know,
That's what they're there for.
that doesn't mean I couldn't do it. It
Yeah.
just meant I didn't want to do it.
Uh-huh.
So I've been stretching my wings a little bit, getting back into the habit of doing that stuff. So, but the nice thing is I have the time to do it, so I'm not hurting for things to do, but I actually have the time to dedicate to make sure it gets done right.
Well, we appreciate it.
Well, I'm having fun.
That's good to hear,
Enjoying
actually, you
myself.
like what you're doing, that's good to hear. And you do help us, I mean, we're not, Adam, you know, before Adam, no matter, You know, you run into people that have a can-do attitude and a can't-be-done attitude. Kevin was a can't be done. Can't be done. Not my role, not, can't be done, don't do that, can't be done. Pretty soon you just say, we said, well, you know, we'd like to include you as a, have a time slot on. Can't do it, can't do it.
You got the,
And then, but when I watched when I read some of his writings and stuff, he was clearly intelligent. You know,
He
really
was
smart guy.
actually, so the same thing, and I've gone through some stuff. He highly intelligent, but that's actually where he got himself into trouble on a few different things. Because the trick with being an attorney is, you may be thinking and considering all these things that nobody else is thinking about, but you still have to reduce it to the KISS principle when you are taking case to a jury trial, or you're taking an opinion to county commissioners or to members of the public, or to the justice court, because if you go in there with some amazing legal principle that you're trying to explain to a justice of the peace, they're gonna look at you and go, huh? You know,
Lost their eyes
or the
glazed over.
public, yeah. And I mean, they're not gonna have any idea what you're talking about. And so you have to be able, the real trick in being an effective attorney is understanding all that complicated stuff, and then being able to present it to whomever your audience is in a way where they go, oh, well, that's easy to understand, I get
yeah,
it.
that is a
Yeah.
trick.
Really, why are we paying you so much money to do this? Yeah, man, because putting that in a way you understand was not nearly as easy as you think it was. That's why.
Yeah, you gotta dumb it down.
Yeah. But I'm a big fan of the KISS principle. Every time I start working on something, I'm always looking at it and going, am I getting too complicated here? You know what I mean by the KISS principle, right?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Don't overthink it. Just do it.
Well, and you know, what I find myself doing, and more, this is really powerful. You know, you spend a day and you realize you've dealt through all these variables and whatnot. How can I simply present this?
Yeah.
And so what does this boil down to? And that's a challenge. And then what I found really helpful, and some of the things I write, I have AI rewrite it for brevity,
Mm.
and it's amazing
So
how much better it is.
I'm learning how to utilize AI, and sometimes I use it for brevity. Sometimes I utilize it to analyze very complicated criminal cases, where, I mean, I've got 50 pages of reports, and not all investigators' writings are written equally.
Yeah, it can wade through. I used to get these emails with, you know, all kinds of information. I would say summarize key points.
Yeah, which is a nice way of saying, why do I care?
Well, no, and then I know
Yeah.
this is, but it goes to what I said to start with. It's the art of presentation.
Uh-huh.
You can have the backup there if you want to look at it. You know, there it is. But this is really what it says. And
Well, and that's what I'm doing for you with this Riverside
right.
thing,
You
like,
spent a
right?
whole day
I
on
mean, here's, 80 pages of deeds,
right.
right? And you guys could read 80 pages of deeds, but I mean, you'll start looking at that window like you want to jump out of it, like I was doing, you know? But going through all those deeds, here's what each one shows you in a paragraph. Here's what you can do with it now in another paragraph. And for those of you who couldn't follow the two paragraphs, here's a map and a coloring picture.
Well, then you know, the other thing, the other byproduct of that is you know that issue like the back of your hand, and it's also increased your knowledge of maybe how to attack some other issues like that. So I've always been, I like doing stuff that does, you know, that kind of sparks your mind and says,
Yeah.
hey, you know, and then you get into it and you go, okay, it might be dry and not the most exciting thing, but, you know, there's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
that I don't know about land and deeds and whatnot, and it's becoming more apparent, I need to start getting smarter on this.
Oh, it's an interesting thing. It's funny, the same time I was applying for a job here, I was applying for a job with Fish, Wildlife and Parks, basically to do that for them.
Yeah.
And they wound up deciding, well, they wanted to hire somebody else, so I'm kinda curious what their response is gonna be when they get this, like, oh man, maybe we should have hired that kid.
No, they're gonna say, good thing we didn't hire him, this is
Well,
all
I'm
wrong.
glad
This is all wrong, good thing we didn't hire him.
Well, Kevin worked for him for 10 years.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I talked to him. I said, how did you work out? No, they don't even want to talk about it. He just caused a big mess.
I don't know that I'd wanna do that kind of thing every day.
Yeah.
Well, the cops call it being an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
You know, when they have like the high-speed chase or they're putting together an exciting case, you know,
Yeah.
I mean that's why a lot of them are cops, man, because that's really exciting. Well, for me, my adrenaline junkie part is going to trial.
Yeah.
I like to go to trial. I like to get up there and present in front of a jury, and I'll tell you what, it's a hook. I mean, you are absolutely hooked when you send that jury out and you're sitting there waiting for them to come back and tell you whether you're right or not.
Yeah.
And that jury comes walking back in and you're looking at them like, man, is anybody giving me any indication I win or lose? And then they read that verdict. That's exciting stuff, especially on a big case.
Yeah.
On, you know,
I can
on
see that.
attempted deliberate homicide or a sex offense or something, the jury comes back and goes, we've gone through everything, you know, we've listened to a week of people talking at us. You're guilty. You're sitting there going, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, my son-in-law says the same thing.
Yeah.
He used to love the trials.
Yeah.
And he was, yeah. And then he went in, what's that called? Personal injury,
Uh-huh.
which pays more money.
It does, it pays more money, but it's
That's
just,
what he said.
pays a lot more money. It's not as exciting.
Well, when his lawyer friends retired, he had that when he had a personal injury law firm, so he bought him out. And he went into it, and I said, why'd you do that? He said, well, when you're doing trial, sir, you can only charge so many hours.
Mhm.
With personal injury, there's no limit to what you can charge.
Right.
He's making lots of money now. But he's thinking about retiring, he's gonna turn 60.
I don't know. I'll have,
Turn 60? Isn't that scary? Sounds like my nephew, you know, it's like, oh my God, my nephew's older than me when I thought I was old. I mean, you know.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that at some future time in my life. But I'm having fun doing this right now.
Well, there's not a lack of things to be, and as you get more into it, you'll see there's plenty to do, you know, to make a difference. And I think, you know, part of this getting involved in the crime and the problems in the community related to crime, drugs and stuff like that is a pretty big bang for your buck, you know, for what you do in terms of helping. Not that it's everything, but I think it's been lacking. Now, it changed with Adam, but I think this community, because when I first moved here, that was one of the things they said, well, you know, we kind of a lot of drug use and a lot of, you know, so it's kind of a method thing. I said, well, I mean, what are they paying? What's the paying for? You got a pretty good rate, don't you think?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm working on some different ideas with law enforcement to start taxing the druggies in town a little bit and making their life more difficult. Maybe make them decide they want to go somewhere else.
Good.
Getting rid of it entirely is just about impossible. But I can make business difficult.
So you go. That's a start.
Because they're
Yeah.
paid in full, except for our current bill, which we haven't even
Yeah.
received. When I talked to them this morning, they've been paid,
Oh, well,
this
I
morning.
don't think
I don't either, no, I
I
think
think
about it.
Justin's on training right now. Maybe he doesn't hold down the office.
Alright, well, would you guys mind if I went downstairs and got back to work on stuff? Maybe I could try and answer Teresa's question.
If we have a terrible legal issue, we'll call you.
Sounds like fun.
If someone walks in with a problem.
I've got a rodeo at 3 o'clock today, that should be a good one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got a fellow, he's charged with some fairly serious criminal offenses. And he decided to fire his attorney and represent himself.
That's
And
perfect.
now we gotta do a hearing about a bunch of different nonsense at 3 o'clock, or normally we just deal with it with paperwork. And so, the judge isn't at him, and then we got a different judge, and then that judge got substituted. And so, by this guy who's being a pain in the neck. And so now we got a new judge who's taking it, and I suspect he wants to come in and lay the law down on everybody. I'm getting tired of nonsense in this case, y'all better cut it out.
Yeah, I think he has, I don't know.
And I'll sit there and go, absolutely, Judge, there's never any nonsense coming from me, I so solemnly swear. It wasn't me. Then we'll see.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. Another problem is, those pro se guys, they're sitting in jail, they got nothing to do 24 hours a day, but
Yeah,
try and invent nonsense. And
that's right.
that's what we got going. It's all right.
It was paid in the past due.
Makes it that much sweeter when you get into the end of it.
That's right.
Okay,
All right, gentlemen, I will see you if you need me.
keep
Stick your head
keeping us
down.
honest.
Holler at me.
All right.
Oh, I just got paid today. I can afford to take you guys out to lunch today if you guys are going out to lunch.
We got,
We're gonna leave at lunch meeting.
Oh, wait, is today the, no, that was the department head, but that was
Last week.
last week.
you were there for that, right?
What? I was there for that, yeah. Well, I missed the previous one, but I wasn't the department head yet.
Well, that's,
Well,
You guys
that was
thought I was supposed
deliberate,
to be
we
there.
didn't want you there, that's,
yeah.
we deliberately excluded you.
It was nice though, because by the time I went this time, I already knew everybody.
There really wasn't much room in
It's
that
good
room.
food though, it was really good.
Oh, it's good.
The soup was unreal, that chicken noodle soup, I could've, I want some of that
How you
now.
doing? Good. I'm doing all right. This thing's healing up. I mean,
Oh, it is,
it looks like hell, but it's
turning
quite a
colors, that
bit.
means it's healing.
Yeah, it spread quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of that part of the 80% we learned from.
Yeah.
See, I found if you don't do anything, you don't get hurt.
It's saying if you're gonna be done, you better be tough.
Yeah, I like that, that jackass.
I'll see you guys.
All right.
No, they won't just. I mean, I feel bad.
Volunteer Rural Fire Department, that's why they call, they're
I
like,
was like, I'll just write a check and then submit a thing for reimbursement. I was getting
Yeah, we
to
got
the point where I was like,
we're meeting at the back porch, right?
Yes.
submit it for reimbursement, but that's not good either.
I just called them
no,
and
this is
have
fine, honestly, what she
And
did
there's
was just
the
not,
one on the
she
other
did this
side.
instead of.
Excellent.
Back here, and that's why it came back. The check should have been in the front, because you'll see, yeah, that's why it came back to you, because look, with this here, what does it have? It has your address, it was not big fire department, you know? So that was a
And the
mistake.
special is a
But the
primary
check-
belt.
The check should have gone.
Is
Get any better than that?
That's why.
With Ajus? Ajus?
I'm sure you can
Get some more
Okay,
questions.
that's fine.
No, yeah, this one, this is just.
Yeah, Cheryl was showing me their menu, you know,
I
they have
had
prime
them
rib
email me
night.
the bill, that's
yeah.
why I paid it.
I'm surprised
But
it doesn't have.
that prime rib was $33, but they had a lot of stuff with it, I think it'd be a good.
Well, didn't somebody want to come talk to us
When
about
it does anything,
what
why
they're
that's not
planning
very
on
much,
putting a
so.
brewery in
No,
there? and
maybe.
Yeah, that's,
He said it was coming up the
I
next
think this
time.
afternoon.
It was an email, it's not on here, but it was an email, I think, that emailed the bodily stuff.
Someone wanted it.
Yeah.
They had to ask us if we wanted to drink beer.
Well, you know, they're probably saying, we've heard rumor that that's what the rear might do,
Oh,
and,
so
you
they
know,
wanted.
they're gonna beat him to the punch, but in my mind, it's like, you know, do what you think's gonna work, you know?
Yeah, we can't be telling them what they
Yeah.
can.
Certainly not.
I think that place is, that
And we
setup
don't
is
know,
probably,
and we don't know anybody to put one in the building.
and you know, that setup on the back
Alright.
porch is probably
Thank you.
perfect for it.
Yeah.
If you think about it, we got that big room.
Well, and they were wanting to do, some issues up in the upper floors, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, brothel, I heard a brothel.
I shot it.
That would never work around
The community's too.
Too much competition free.
I already fixed it though, I mean,
Yeah, well,
there.
2 weeks ago they were gonna disconnect.
Well, anyway,
Like she just said, she called when we were current.
well, someone's gonna put a roof up in this town, I can tell you that. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen, but who knows when. When I was looking at the weird building, I talked to that guy in Harlowtown's got the roof over there, which is filled with people every damn night. He said he'd come down and put one in here if we could fund it, so.
Huh.
Materialize.
If we can fund the building.
Yeah. Well, I thought about the old depot, making that into.
Really, you know, that would be a hell of a good place for it.
Yeah.
All kinds of parking, it's out of the way.
Mm-hmm. So, you could do that too. I see there's, someone's using that down there.
Winter, Chris would like to see you.
Chris,
Yes.
this Chris?
I need to see the. I told her around the summertime.
Well,
AFR, yeah, he knows this.
Great Disney.
They're AFR. And they're like, oh, they're supposed to shut down. No, the NFL, tell them how to run in there, how much money they got for those cemeteries.
Well, there's a safety meeting on the,
Thank you.
on the 29th.
all right.
Well, that was outside. Email, a safety meeting. He's going back to work, I hope. $2 Wednesday. We're gonna go on the radio Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it on there. Don't give me, show up and then have Mike and and.
Let's say we are, and then we won't show up. We'll let Bob do all the talking.
I was gonna show up and say, you know,
He can badmouth this thing.
thinking, you know, those other commissioners, they're just bastards. They're sons of bitches.
Yeah. Well, I did this a week ago. I said, yeah, let's go on the radio. And then I didn't follow up at all. I didn't even call Bill. What the hell did I do with my phone? I guess I left it home.
God, it's already the end of January next week.
I never did call about Camp McKeeven.
You never did call about it.
Old Camp McKeeven is the head of the experiment station at home.
Oh, yeah.
I think I didn't do it. I gotta call him.
I'll bet you it's still open.
You think? I put it in my phone so I wouldn't forget, and then I never used it. this Dr. McKeevan? Oh, that's close. Are you the one that runs the Huntley Experiment Station? I got the name wrong, that's for sure.